This copyrighted telecast of the Western Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the WAC Digital Network.
We know that their defense has carried them at times this season, but they have to get more from their offense going into their conference, and what a great time to start tonight.
For our radio listeners, Sacramento State dressed in solid green jerseys and trunks trimmed in white and gold. They'll be shooting at the basket to our left. They control the opening tip. Mike McGinney has it, working against the Wolverines, who are in solid white trimmed in green. On the left side, long jumper Garrity buries that one. It's a 2, first blood Sacramento State.
Yeah, fadeaway jump shot on the wing from Garrity there. A very confident shot for him to start the game.
Marcel Davis with it for UVU. Goes over to Nelson, left side now, Brunel. One dribble, gives it to Dante Williams. Out to Brunel, he'll jump a 3, bottom. Senior from Boise, Idaho, gives UVU the quick 1-point lead. They'll feed it inside. Shot blocked from behind, but a foul going to get called as Eric Studeville went up with it, and the foul's going to go against Zach Nelson from behind.
One of the things on offense to start there, a really nice drive from Dante. At the end of the Idaho State game, he kept them in it by driving, drawing fouls, and getting to the line and making those free throws. Nice drive and kick there. On the defensive end, as Eric Studeville's at the free throw line, the Wolverines are fronting, as they often do in the post. So, you've got to have backside, weak side help, because a pass like that came over the top to a very tall player is extremely hard to defend unless you have weak side help.
Studeville missed the second. Sacramento State fought for the rebound and pulls it in. We're tied at 3, 48, about 58 seconds deep into this game now. Cody Demps dribbling at the top of the key, slides to his right, picks it up, goes up top to Hornsby, left side. Now they try to feed inside, stolen away. Wolverines come up with it, lead pass, stolen away again. So back-to-back turnovers for these two teams. Sacramento State will set it up again. Fresh shot clock after that steal from Williams. McKinney's got it, penetrates, dishes off. Studeville, easy.
And the offense for Sacramento State so far seems pretty simple. It's get the ball to one of your guards at the top of the key, get Studeville coming up to set a pick on the ball, and then go and create from there.
5-3, Sacramento State by 2 here in the early minutes. Wolverines down to Brendan Evans inside, outside Marcel Davis. He'll jump a 3, bottom.
What did we talk about, Jim? The threes. I mean, we said you cannot forget about the threes. 2 quick threes for the Wolverines to start. That's a great sign, and good start for them knocking those down.
Hornsby starts to penetrate, kicks it outside to Demps. He will drive, hanging jumper, bounces off, no good. Rebound Wolverines. Yeah, the first matchup, Utah Valley only hit 3 out of 19 from three-point land. Tonight, they're 2 of 2 already. Played a minute 15. Wolverines of Utah Valley up by a single digit, 6-5. Davis with it on the right wing, comes off a screen, goes to the top, low post feed. Zach Nelson twisting layup, good.
Beautiful play there. Marcel Davis coming off of the screen at the same time. Perfect timing from Zach Nelson on the duck in. Gets it, nice up and under finish.
Nice drive left to right. McKinney couldn't finish it though. Wolverines come away with the rebound on the miss. Dante Williams hesitates, now drives in, draws contact, and he traveled when he did. Dante told me before the Weber State game last week, he said, I really need to turn it up. I'm just going to turn it up. Well, that time he turned it up a little too fast.
It's hard to fault him, though. I know he's been subbed out of the game for the turnover, but we said that. At Idaho State game, he kept them in that game and helped push them over the top with the free throws because of his aggressiveness. And, when your player tells you that, Jim, you look for it, and I absolutely see it. He has turned it up.
Sacramento State turns it over again. Their second turnover. Wolverines have it. Mitch Brunel drives down the lane. Easy. It's 10-5 UVU. Sacramento State. Nick Hornsby had a career-high 20 against UVU the first matchup. Gives over for the jumper from McKinney. No good. Rebound. Jaden Jackson. Outlet pass deflected and stolen away. McKinney's got it. Goes in the lane. Kicks it back out front. That's stolen away. Now the Wolverines of Utah Valley with it. Marcel Davis drives down, throws it up. No, batted around. Sacramento State away with it. Coming back the other way. McKinney, hanging jumper, top of the key, good. Stops a little 7-0 run the Wolverines were on. It's 10-7 now, UVU.
Yeah, a lot of up and down on the court here. 3 turnovers for both teams has created some good opportunities in transition for both teams.
Our radio listeners are probably thinking, what in the world? Back and forth, back and forth. Cody Demps. Jaden Jackson now, jumper outside, no. Rebound, Brendan Evans. Marcel Davis with it, gives over to Jaden Jackson. Now to Chad Ross, back to Jackson. Marcel Davis again. Davis, hanging jumper, long 2, good.
Yeah, and this is something we haven't seen a lot from Marcel. He's usually very active in driving to the basket, but, knock down the long 3, there a long 2. That's an added dimension to his game that makes him even more difficult to defend.
Davis has 5, Brunel has 5, Nelson has 2. Utah Valley 12-7 over Sacramento State, 15.5 to play first half. Jumper baseline, right side, Hornsby, no. Out of bounds, it belongs to Utah Valley. Timeout on the floor, let's take it with them. Utah Valley leading Sacramento State with 15:20 to play here in the first half. 12-7, the score here on 960, The Zone.
Good sportsmanship isn't defined by a scoreboard.
It isn't defined by how high you jump or how fast you can run.
Good sportsmanship is all about character.
It is about doing your best for your coaches and teammates.
It is about having respect for your opponents.
the officials, and the fans.
Good sportsmanship is winning with class and losing with dignity.
It's fair play, perseverance, and team spirit.
Good sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
They say the devil is in the details. And in here, there are a lot of details. Flavor, color, texture, temperature, presentation. It all has to be flawless. Pressure? Maybe. But with engaged learning, I get a lot of practice. And I'll bet your homework never tasted this good.
We're at the UCCU Center in Orem, Utah. Right now, Utah Valley with a early 12-7 lead. We missed a pregame show, at least on the radio. We talked about the fact that in their first meeting on December 1st, Utah Valley's only lead in that matchup was 2-0. So to actually be up by 5 this early, I would think is a boost of confidence.
Absolutely, and they got off to a great start. I mean, geez, 12 points already, not even 5 minutes down, and 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. It's a perfect start. The only thing that's hurt them is those turnovers. They've had 3 turnovers, and it's as if most of those have just been in the backcourt, giving Sacramento State extra chances and additional opportunities. So if they can just shore up those turnovers, I think it'll be helpful for them. And here you see Sacramento State extending pressure a little bit, 2-2-1 zone, not really looking to trap, just probably slow the Wolverines down a little bit. See if they fall back into a zone. They do not. They fall back into a man.
Mitch Brunel with it, gives over to Alex Carrs into the game now. First time for the Wolverines. Now to Jaden Jackson. Right side it goes to Brunel. 15-second shot clock, 15-minute game clock. Jackson's got it, top of the key. Right side Carr, he'll jump a 3. Front rim no good. Rebound Boston Gubler, had it taken away. Sacramento State's Mike McKinney took it. So the Hornets will set up their offense. No, they won't. They'll take a long 3 outside and buried that time by Dreyon Barlett.
Yeah, that was a mistake in transition for the Wolverines. Dreyon Barlett wide open. Clearly the Wolverines missed an assignment there, getting back.
Barlett, a 6'3" junior from Huntington Beach, California, nails the 3, and Utah Valley's lead is cut to 2 at 12-10 with 14:20 to play first half. Alex Carr jumps 3, left side, bottom. 15-10.
Yeah, really good ball movement there. The previous 3 from Alex Carr was a great looking shot as well. If he can come in, he's a great defender. He can provide some additional spark on offense. That'll be all the better for the Wolverines.
Wolverines 3 of 4 from three-point land in the first 6 minutes of this basketball game. Home, sweet home. Turnaround jumper, Sacramento State, no good. Foul on the rebound. The other way will send them as Sacramento State commits that foul. They're going to call that one in. Was that Alex Tiffin? Yeah, his first. Yeah. Team's first.
One of the hard things to do with how the Wolverines play their defense, I mentioned how they like to front in the post. Well, that's extremely difficult to rebound. It's difficult to rebound because you think about it, you're fronting a player, a shot goes up, you've got to quickly get position, get inside. Nice job there, Chad Ross, blocking out, getting the inside position, and a shove, and the foul.
Utah Valley basketball, they lead at 15-10 with 13:45 to play first half. Jaden Jackson gives over to Carr. Thought about a 3. He'll take a long 2. Airballed it, out of bounds. So it'll be Sacramento State basketball. Sacramento State comes out shooting 4 out of 9. Wolverines start 6 out of 10. Marcel Davis back in. Alex Carr takes a seat. Corey Cardwell makes his first appearance, and Mitch Brunel takes a seat. So the Wolverines now with, again, 4 bench players already on the floor. Marcel Davis the only starter who's out there.
Remember, against Idaho State, we talked so much about how the bench players carried them. Let's see if they can put back-to-back games here together and give the Wolverines a needed boost.
Sacramento State basketball to our left, camera right. Zach Mills with it. Gives over to Nick Hornsby. Now the left side, that's Barlett again. He hit that big 3 earlier. Now Zach Mills puts it in the hands of Mike McKinney. 5 seconds to shoot. McKinney shaking and baking, driving to the hole. Fouled on his way by Marcel Davis. 13:07 to play. First foul against Marcel, second team foul against Utah Valley.
Yeah, nice job of defense there from Marcel. He guarded the crossover wear, but the official said arm bars, so he just got that arm out and made contact that way.
Driving in the trees, laying it up and in on a nice shot, Mike McKinney of Sacramento State on the inbounds play.
You know, we haven't talked much about him, but he leads them in scoring, 18 points a game, so you know he is very aggressive. He's had a little bit of a slow start, but he's going to look to score.
He's got 4 points tonight. Utah Valley's lead is just 3, 15-12. 12:45 to play first half. Boston Gubler backing in. Turnaround jump hook, no good. Rebound comes down to Sacramento State's Mike McKinney. McKinney not a big guy at 6'1", but shows some leaping ability there. McKinney's working up top against Cardwell. Now puts it in the hands on the left side, and Hornsby backing in against Marcel Davis. Dishes off, shot blocked from behind. That time by Chad Ross, but they're going to call a foul inside against Chad Ross of Utah Valley.
That was a really nice pass from Nick Hornsby, because what you had is the ball gets dumped inside. Marcel is guarding him. Boston Gubler has to come over to help on the double team, and right as he got to the ball, the pass was made. Diagonal pass behind him. Chad Ross, tough angle to recover at, and Chad was forced to foul.
You're right. They continue to shuffle players in and out. Let me just tell you who's on the floor right now for Utah Valley. Dante Williams, Jaden Jackson, Corey Cardwell, Zach Jones, Chad Ross. First free throw is missed, second one is good. 2-point game, Utah Valley up by 2, 15-13.
The first time that Sacramento State did this 2-2-1 pressure, they didn't look to trap. The last time and this time they do look to trap.
Cardwell gives it over to Williams. Hanging jumper from 8 feet off the glass, too hard. Tipped up and in by Chad Ross. Great play.
What a play. Arm extended about as far as it could be. Got fingertips on it. Shoved it right up and back in. What a shot there and follow from Chad.
17-13. Ross's first 2 points of the night. 12 minutes to play. Wolverines leading by 4. They've led by as many as 5. Meanwhile, Sacramento State's biggest lead here in this first few minutes has been 2. Hornsby working against Williams. Up top, they'll put it in the hands of Tiffin, and a whistle away from the basketball against Sacramento State. Things getting a little chippy inside. A foul going against number 20, Zach Mills. That'll bring us to another media timeout. 11:46 to play, first half. Utah Valley by 4 over Sacramento State. You're watching the WAC Digital Network and listening to 960 The Zone.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity, on the court with respect,
and in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Wolverines of Utah Valley just hitting 2 of their last 6 shots tonight. A reminder, fans, Adidas, now the official outfitter of UVU Athletics. You can check out Adidas apparel at adidas.com.
You know, Jim, one of the main things, one of the main themes that I am seeing so far is the pick and roll that Sacramento State wants to do. And what the Wolverines have been doing is on the pick and roll, they've been doing a lot of switching. So that puts pressure on perimeter players guarding, maybe bigs inside who want to try and post up, and bigs having to guard perimeter players. I think the Wolverines have done a nice job of adjusting to that. That last possession was terrific defense from Dante Williams against the post up inside.
Wolverine basketball shooting to our right. Dante Williams with it, gives over to Jaden Jackson, top of the key. Left side they go to Chad Ross. Now Corey Cardwell, baseline drive, kicks out Williams, up top Jackson. He starts to drive in the lane, a little elbow push on his way. That one's going to get called against Zach Mills. Back-to-back fouls on Zach Mills of Sacramento State.
Yeah, I really like what Jaden Jackson is doing. He's not settling for an outside shot. He's had a couple opportunities, but what he does is shot fakes, foot fakes, and he's being aggressive and driving. He's done that multiple times tonight and gets rewarded a foul called there.
11.5 minutes to play. Jumper outside for three. Chad Ross, bottom.
Yeah, it seems to me Chad's confidence is just skyrocketing. He's been so much more aggressive on offense. You know, the Weber State game, Idaho State, that shot there, that's what they need from him because we know what he can do on defense.
Chad Ross, 5 points already. Utah Valley pushes their lead to a game-high 7 points. It's 20-13 with 11 minutes to play till the break. Sacramento State, Garrity feeding inside. Studeville has it slapped away. Ball on the floor, picked up Wolverines. Dante Williams, far sideline, bringing it up. Stops. Puts the ball in the hands of Cardwell. Back over to Williams, left side. Now to Ross, he's got the hot hand. Dishes off Cardwell, he'll jump a three. Front rim, no. Tipped around, ball on the floor. Sacramento State picks it up. 10.5 minutes to play. First half, Utah Valley 20, Sacramento State 13. Rematch from December 1st where Sacramento State won by 9 points up at their place. Mike McKinney's got it. Hanging jumper, top of the key again. No good this time. Ball on the floor, now up in the air, and the Wolverines come away with it.
Good defense there from Chad. That's what we talked about. Pick on the ball, you're going to get a switch. Chad did a nice job of forcing the jumper.
Jaden Jackson for three, missed it. Rebound, Zach Nelson of UVU out to Jackson. He'll jump another three. Bottom! Back-to-back threes from the good guys in white. Utah Valley leads now by 10, 23-13. And Coach Brian Katz of Sacramento State wants to call a timeout. We'll stay here with this one. You know, after Sacramento State beat Utah Valley on December 4th, they were 4-1. That equaled the best start in history for Sacramento State, and they were all excited about it. As well they should be.
Yeah.
But after that, they lost two in a row, Abilene Christian and UC Irvine, before knocking off Cal State Fullerton at home, and now they've lost two more in a row, Portland and Seattle. So a situation of how well can you handle good things.
Yeah, you know, Coach used to always talk about that is, you know, one of the harder things to do in sports is if you have a really good game, put together another really good game and do it back-to-back, and that goes for teams as well. So, you know, Sacramento State had some difficulties, but let's transition that to the Wolverines. You know, they gutted one out on Tuesday night, Tuesday night against Idaho State. You know, let's see if they can put together a back-to-back game and get a victory. They're off to a good start here.
Mike McKinney with it. 9:45 to play, first half. Wolverines of Utah Valley by 10 against Sacramento State. 15-second shot clock for McKinney. Goes over to the right side. Garrity will take a three from there. Good.
Yeah, tough defensive assignment there. Corey Cardwell having to chase Garrity coming off of a double screen. There was no help. No bigs gave help out. Wide open three and a knockdown from Mike McKinney.
23-16. Wolverines lead is 7.
Excuse me, that was Dylan Garrity. Excuse me.
Zach Nelson with it. Gives over Jaden Jackson another three. Front rim this time. Rebound comes down. Eric Studeville. Sacramento State basketball. Mike McKinney comes off a screen, slides to the top. Instead goes to the left side now to Dylan Garrity. Hit that big three on the last possession. Give and go. Nothing there. They'll kick it outside. Hornsby trying to work inside. Twisting, turning. Layup. Good. And one. Fouled on the way of the hole. If that's Zach Nelson, that's going to be 2 on Zach. It is.
Yeah, really nice ball reversal. Again, the Wolverines getting caught in different matchups because they're switching the picks on the ball. So, you know, nice up and under move there from Hornsby. Turns to his left shoulder, gets Zach up in the air, comes underneath and finishes it. Nice play there, and you know, critical foul from Zach. That's one of the Achilles heels we've seen him have. Gets him out a little bit of a rhythm when he goes to the bench with those early fouls.
Musical chairs for the Wolverines continue. Mitch Brunel, Marcel Davis back into the game, and Eli Robinson makes his first appearance for the Wolverines. They're on the floor along with Chad Ross and Dante Williams. Free throw is good, so Wolverines' 10-point lead is now down to 4, 23-19, and Dante Williams right in front of us here at midcourt just lost the handle, turnover. Just rolled out of bounds.
Yeah, he had just barely crossed the half-court line, and what Sacramento State is doing is that 2-2-1 pressure. You're going to get a timeout from Coach Hunsaker here, but they're putting on that 2-2-1 pressure, and the last several possessions they've trapped in the corners, and so I think Dante was thinking ahead, knew that he was going to face some pressure, knew that he was likely going to be trapped, and just dribbled it right off his leg.
Tell me about what you think this musical chair rotation that I'm calling it. It's probably not a good term to call it for UVU. We haven't seen, prior to this week, prior to the Tuesday night's Idaho State game with UVU, we haven't seen UVU do a lot of substituting.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, everybody's in the game early for a lot of minutes.
Yeah, you're right. Against Idaho State, we saw the starters play for several minutes, and then the bench players came in and stayed in for long periods of time because they were playing well. You're right. It's not something that we've seen, but maybe Coach feels that in tonight's game he's going to need to rotate a lot of bodies. He may be rotating them based on performance, quite honestly, too. I mean, it may be something as if, just as simple as, hey, we need you for short periods of time. You better perform, and you're coming out, because they have done a lot of subbing.
8.5 minutes left first half. Utah Valley leading by 4. Sacramento State with the basketball. Mike McKinney works between the circles, goes over left side, wide open. Garrity for 3, got it. It's 9 straight points for Sacramento State, and UVU's lead is 1.
All 3-point plays as well, 2 threes, and then the made basket and the and one. Now Sacramento State dropping back, playing a 2-3 zone.
Marcel Davis with the basketball, gives over to Robinson on the left wing, back to Davis. Dribbles a couple of times, goes over left side. Chad Ross thought about a 3, instead puts it in the hands of Robinson. Right side it goes to Williams. Brunel, deep right corner, 10 seconds to shoot. He drives in, glass, good. Well, when all else fails, go to your senior.
Yeah, he's good when he gets along the baseline and has the ball in his hands. Nice finish. And you get a carry call here against Mike McKinney.
Mike McKinney trying to get a little too fancy after he brought the ball across midcourt. 25-22, media timeout. We'll take another one. 7:46 to play first half. Utah Valley out in front by just 3. You're watching WAC Digital Network and listening to 960 The Zone. Well, we told you early, Utah Valley came out blistering, shooting 70-something%, nailing their first 5 out of 7 shots. They've now made 5 of their last 12 shots for 53% overall. Sacramento State, who's now warming up, they're at 57% on the game.
Yeah, I mean, you'll take the offensive effort from the Wolverines. They've got 10 made baskets, and 9 of those have been assisted on, so they're playing some really unselfish ball. Let's see what defense Sacramento State goes with here, if they go back to that 2-3 zone or if they try and go man-to-man against that. Wolverines have not shot a free throw yet. Very interesting statistic. Haven't got to the line.
Wolverine basketball, trouble getting it across court. Still having trouble. Ball batted away, goes out of bounds. It'll belong to Utah Valley. Seven and a half minutes to play, first half. It's 25-22. Utah Valley by just 3 over Sacramento State. They've led by as many as 10. Sacramento State showing some flash the last few minutes, though. Wolverines across midcourt this time safely. Marcel Davis gives over to Robinson on the left side. Back up top, Davis, right side, Brunel. 18-second shot clock. Brunel brings it back up, gives over to Davis. Swings right side, Williams. He'll launch a 3, missed it. Rebound put back in by Chad Ross, and he's fouled as he does it. I was waiting for the official to say whether that was offensive or defensive push. He signaled push before he signaled offensive or defensive.
Yeah, what a play from Chad. I believe he was on the left wing or near the top of the key. Just timed his jump perfectly, found open space, and used soft hands to put that ball back in.
Chad Ross, 7 points, 2 rebounds already. Make it 8 points. It's 28-22.
Yeah, he's playing with a ton of energy. I love his emotion out there tonight. He sparked the Wolverines for sure. Let's see if the Wolverines can put together a defensive possession here. Sacramento State, a little bit of a run of their own here.
28-22, Wolverines by 6 now of Utah Valley. Just under 7 minutes to play first half. Dylan Garrity with it for Sacramento State. Gives over to Zach Mills. Driving in, slapped away. Wolverines come up with it, 3-on-3. Marcel Davis running, gives over to Robinson, layup good.
What a way to probe the defense from Marcel. He had Dante on the right, he had Mitch on the left. Those lanes closed. He was patient, and Eli ran the floor and with the finish. Nice job of Marcel playing the defense there.
Robinson's first 2. It's 30-22. Utah Valley by 8. It's a 7-0 run right now for UVU. 6 minutes, 18 seconds left, first half. Sacramento State basketball driving in, shot off the glass, good from Cody Demps.
You know, we talked a little bit about the pick and roll. One-on-one defense is going to be key because Sacramento State has been 4 out, 1 in.
Chad Ross has it. He was getting ready to go to the basket so fast that his feet moved before the ball did. He's called for traveling. Turnover, Wolverines. Chad Ross right now the leading scorer for Utah Valley with 8 points. Chad had a career high 12 points against University of Arizona a couple of weeks ago down in Tucson. So he's no stranger to big-time games when his team needs him. Just under 6 minutes to play first half. Utah Valley leading by 6. Sacramento State basketball shooting to our left. Camera right. Zach Mills, turnaround jumper good. 30-26. Wolverines lead is just 4 now.
2-3 zone here, so Sacramento State's done a lot of different defenses. A couple of possessions in the half court, they've done some trapping, but not this possession.
Davis has it, goes left side, Ross again to Robinson. Back over to Ross, now to Marcel, 12-second shot clock. Dante Williams with it, slices into the lane, throws it up, no good. Mitch Brunel with the rebound, ball on the floor. Mitch grabs it, looks for help, forces his way up, and they'll call 3 seconds. He was in there a long time trying to recover that ball and find an opening to go up with it. Brunel and Ross will take a seat, replaced by Brendan Evans, and for the first time tonight we see Dayon Goodman.
And Sacramento State here, Jim, going with a little bit smaller lineup. They do have Alex Tiffin inside, but kind of a 4 out, 1 in motion, trying to get different players posted up. Mainly Zach Mills inside. They're trying to post him up.
Sacramento State down by 4, just under 5 minutes left here, first half. Sacramento State jumper way outside for 3, good. That one drilled from Dylan Garrity, 6'2" senior, averaging 12 points a game, gets that one down. It's a 1-point lead for UVU, 30-29.
Yeah, Wolverines know he's a 40% three-point shooter on the year, and second leading scorer. They know that he can shoot.
Marcel Davis has it for Utah Valley. Cross-court pass over to Robinson. Gives it back to Marcel near midcourt. 12 seconds on the shot clock, 4:20 on the first half game clock. Marcel Davis dribbling on the right wing now. Looks for a screen. They'll work it over to Robinson, now deep left corner. Dante Williams will jump from there. Rims off, no good. Rebound, Sacramento State. Bartlett pull that one down. Outlet pass, Garrity. Sacramento State jumper outside for 3, no. Rebound, Wolverines of Utah Valley. That would have been Sacramento State's first lead since it was 5-3. Instead, driving in, finding some way to get the ball up, but missing the shot was Marcel Davis, and a foul on the rebound against Marcel Davis. Frustration foul, I think, his second, team's 5th. Brings us to another media timeout, the last one of the first half. Just under 4 minutes to play. Utah Valley with a single-point lead over Sacramento State. It's 30-29. We'll be back in 60 seconds here on 960 The Zone.
I had an idea. Lots of people have ideas. But engaged learning helped me develop my idea and make it real. And now with sales over $1 million, best assignment ever.
Good sportsmanship isn't defined by a scoreboard.
It isn't defined by how high you jump or how fast you can run.
Good sportsmanship is all about character.
It is about doing your best for your coaches and teammates.
It is about having respect for your opponents, the officials, and the fans.
Good sportsmanship is winning with class and losing with dignity.
It's fair play, perseverance, and team spirit.
Good sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Back at the UCCU Center, Jim McCullough along with Matt Peterson. Sacramento State has hit 6 of their last 7 shots. They trailed by as many as 10 points in this first half. That was at the 10-minute mark, but right now with 3:52 to play, it's just a 1-point game. UVU leading 30-29.
You know, something that sticks out to me, a couple of things actually. Wolverines with 7 turnovers, Sacramento State with 8. Both teams have 10 points off turnovers, but Sacramento State has, the Wolverines have 10 second chance points. So they're doing a nice job of not, if they don't score on their initial play, they're getting extra opportunities. But, the turnovers have hurt them a little bit because, Sacramento State's turned those into more opportunities for themselves.
Almost 3 minutes since Utah Valley has scored a point. 3:40 to play first half. Sacramento State with the possession to our left. Jumper for 3, top of the key, no good. Rebound, Eli Robinson of Utah Valley. See if UVU can stop the scoring drought. Brendan Evans tried to get a pass over to Robinson, stolen away. Sacramento State on the run the other way. Nick Hornsby jumped in front of that one. Now they'll set up their offense. Zach Mills with it. Gives over to McKinney. And a whistle way away from the basketball.
3 seconds. Alex Tiffin.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what they called 3 seconds. He didn't leave the paint the entire time.
Mike McKinney had the ball near midcourt, dribbling to set up the offense. Call for 3 seconds. 3 minutes, 12 seconds left. First half, Utah Valley by a single points, 30-29. Williams with it. Gets it across midcourt to Corey Cardwell for Utah Valley.
Sacramento State, drop back into that 2-3 zone.
UVU again with 4 players off the bench on the floor right now. Dante Williams, the only starter out there. He's got the hanging jumper. Good. Baseline right side. That stops a 7-0 run. The Sacramento State was on. It's 32-29. 3-point lead with 2:45 to play till the break. Zach Mills with it. A whistle this time going to get called against Eli Robinson. Eli going for the steal.
Yep.
Foul number 6 on the team for Eli. That's his first personal. Marcel Davis on the bench with 2. Zach Nelson on the bench with 2. 2 starters for Utah Valley. I don't think we'll see again here in the first half at least. This time, Dylan Garrity got defender up in the air. Coming down on top of him was Corey Cardwell for the foul. Corey's first, team 7th.
Yeah, Dylan Garrity just got a lot of separation. I believe there was a down screen or some type of movement or action that got him coming out. He had too much separation on Corey Caldwell, and Dylan Garrity's the 3-point threat for Sacramento State. He just had to pretend or even look at the basket, got Corey up in the air and drew the foul.
32-30 following the first free throw from Garrity. He's got 12 points, the only Sacramento State player in double figures, giving him the second free throw as well. Back to just a 1-point lead for UVU, 32-31 now. 3 turnovers in the last 3.5 minutes for Utah Valley. Having some trouble in the backcourt again. They're still back there, finally get it across to Eli. He's double team trapped, gets it over to Gubler. Now they set up the offense with 20-second shot clock, 2:20 first half game clock. Right corner, Jaden Jackson had it and stepped on the baseline when he caught the pass. Or sideline rather, not the baseline.
And the defense of Sacramento State, their pressure that they've extended, three-quarter court in their zone, seems a little bit more lively in the last few minutes, and that's contributed, I think, to the struggles that the Wolverines have had on offense.
It's a 9-2 run right now for Sacramento State, coming up on the 2-minute mark left here in the first half, and a whistle again, this time away from the ball. Inside, going to go against Jaden Jackson.
That's what Sacramento State is trying to do. They're going to get the ball out on the perimeter in Mike McKinney's hand, and then what they're trying to do is they're trying to run Dylan Garrity off some screens Alex Tiffin came down to set a screen, but he and Jaden Jackson, speaking of Dylan Garrity, they got tied up, they got tangled up, and the referees called a foul. So, those perimeter defenders, I feel for them, because I've been in their situation where a screen is coming from a big guy, and you have to get around that screen, and you have to chase that three-point shooter and not let him get a three-point shot off. You're going to do what you can, as best as you can, to not allow him to create space against you.
Garrity hits both free throws. He's got 15 points, and Sacramento State back out in front. Wolverines turn it over on their next possession. Coming back the other way. Stopping, no shot. Outside it goes. They'll put it in the hands of Bartlett. 1:48 left, first half. Now Alex Tiffin backing in. He'll kick it outside. Jumper, McKinney missed it. Ball on the floor, picked up. Marcel Davis, who is back in the game with those 2 fouls. Over to the Wolverines, Dante Williams drives in. Shot no good. A little too hard off the glass. Rebound Sacramento State. Coming back the other way, Bartlett with it. Gives over to Hornsby. Back to Bartlett with 1:25 left. Sacramento State's going to slow it up. 33-32, Sacramento State on top of Utah Valley by a single point. UVU just one of their last 5 shots, 5 turnovers in the last 4.5 minutes. McKinney's got it, drives in, floater, good. Sacramento State all of a sudden can't miss. 35-32, Wolverines led by 9 at the 6:40 mark. Since then they've scored 2 points. 5.5 minutes with just 2 points to show for it. Marcel Davis kicks it outside. 3-point attempt, Williams. Back rim, no good. Rebound, save from going out of bounds by Eli Robinson. Back to teammate Chad Ross. 45 seconds to shoot, or 45 seconds to play first half. Shot from Eli, no good. Rebound, Sacramento State. 30-second shot clock, 36 on the first half game clock. So Sacramento State can almost play for the last shot. 35-32, Sacramento State by 3. Standing near midcourt is McKinney. He's got a quiet 6 points here in the first half, but 5 assists. 8 seconds to shoot. They put it in the hands of Garrity. Now back over to McKinney. McKinney whips it to wide open. Bartlett, jumper for 3. Good. 5 seconds. Williams brings it across midcourt. Double team there on the right side. Launches a 3 at the buzzer. Missed it. And that's how we'll send the teams to the locker room. A 16-2 run by Sacramento State to close out that first half. And they lead the Wolverines 38-32. It's just a 6-point lead, but the Wolverines, Matt, were cooking along at the 6:40 mark. They were leading 30-22. The final 6 minutes and 40 seconds of the first half see Sacramento State score 16 points and Utah Valley just 2.
Yeah, I think Sacramento State ratcheted up their defense. I think they ratcheted up their energy, and the Wolverines just were not able to match it. I think the Wolverines got they were in a little too much hurry. They forced a couple of baskets, and the defense that Sacramento State put on them, I think, really played a factor there in the last few minutes, and it clearly flustered the Wolverine offense.
Yeah, bad news for the Wolverines. So far this season, they're just 1-6 in games that they have trailed at halftime. We're at halftime at the UCCU Center. Utah Valley at home, trailing by 6 to Sacramento State, 38-32. We'll take a break, then our radio listeners will get our halftime show from our producer Adrian Lizer back at our Salt Lake City studios and our WAC Digital Network. You get to see all sorts of fun things. We'll be back with your second half coming up here on 960 The Zone. State finished up that first half on a 16-2 run. Wolverines just disappeared.
Yeah, it just goes to show, as I've said several times, these games are so long, and the tempo, the momentum can switch in a heartbeat, and it did. It switched in a heartbeat for Sacramento State, and the run that they put on the Wolverines to end the half shows that. I mean, you look at the field goal percentage. I think the strength of the Wolverines this year has been what they can do on defense. But look at Sacramento State's, 59% from the field, 71% from three, and 78% from the free throw line. So that's very uncharacteristic of the Wolverines to give up those figures, especially at home. And a lot of that was just due to that run that the Wolverines put on. And what's needed in a lot of those cases is, you've got to have some player. You've got to have someone just step up and get a basket. I think the basket that they got was from Dante on the baseline jumper, if I'm not mistaken. But they're going to need a very, very large effort from their starters. The bench has provided 16 points for the Wolverines in tonight's game, which is not a number we usually see from the bench. They've played great. But starting the second half, I'm looking at Mitch Brunel, Zach Nelson, Marcel, Dante, the starters, and Brendan, those that started the game, they're going to have to be the ones to get this half on the right foot and right the ship for UVU.
Starting five for Utah Valley finished with 16 points between them in that first half as the Wolverines trail at halftime 38-32. The difference, though, from the stats, it's the free throw shooting. Both teams made 13 shots from the floor. Both teams made 5 3-pointers. But from the free throw line, Sacramento State hit 7 out of 9, UVU 1 out of 1. So that 6-point difference from the free throw line is the difference in the ballgame.
Well, you're right. And you look at the turnovers. The Wolverines with 10 turnovers, Sacramento State with 9. Both teams have turned those turnovers into 12 points. Both teams have 12 points in the paint. The Wolverines have a 10-point advantage in second chance points. But, you look at Sacramento State and the scoring that they've had. Right, they've got 2 players with 6 points. That's Mike McKinney and Dreon Bartlett. But Dylan Garrity has gone off in this game. He's already 4 points above his season average, and he sparked that with a couple of long threes. So who's ever defending him has a tall task ahead of him, and shutting him down is going to be key.
Second half underway here at the UCCU Center. Utah Valley basketball shooting to our left on the radio. If you're watching on the WAC Digital Network, they're shooting to your right. Shot from outside, missed by Davis. Rebound comes down to Sacramento State. Up top is Eric Studeville. Chad Ross starts the second half, by the way, in place of in the place of who?
Brendan Evans.
Brendan Evans, yeah. Other than that, the other 4 starters for UVU out there. Sacramento State basketball, their first possession of second half. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Driving inside and traveling is Dreon Bartlett.
One of the notes I made to myself, and a nice job Mitch Brunel almost drawing a charge there, but what Sacramento State's trying to do is create space and allow their skilled players to drive, and that's exactly what they did, and that's the possession that you have to have. Mitch Brunel, great job keeping the defender in front of him, causing the travel.
Williams with it, gives over to Chad Ross, drives the baseline. A blocking foul going to get called against Sacramento State right away. So Sacramento State only whistled for 4 fouls in that first half. Here we've played 44 seconds, or make it 58 seconds now. Sorry, I was looking at the computer instead of the scoreboard. Already whistled for 1, that one against Eric Studeville, his first. Utah Valley maintains possession, fresh 35 to work with. Brunel for 3, corner, no. Rebound, Chad Ross, UVU dribbles once, back up, and hangs on the rim, drops off, no good. That ball did everything except decide to go down. Sacramento State with the rebound, offensive possession, missed a shot outside. Chad Ross pulls down the rebound. Ross with 4 rebounds now to go along with a team-high 8 points. Utah Valley basketball, minute and a half deep into the second half. Still 38-32. Nobody scored here in the second half. Mitch Brunel inside takes care of that. Up and in.
It's a given every single game that we're going to see Mitch Brunel with a corner 3 from Zach and Mitch Brunel with a weak side rebound and a putback. Again, nice job of positioning himself. Ball fell right to him. Strong putback up and through the defender.
He's got 9. Utah Valley trails by 4. Sacramento State basketball, 18 minutes to play here in Orem, Utah. For Sacramento State, Mike McKinney with it. Garrity's the one who had the hot hand in the first half with 15 points. 5 seconds to shoot. They'll just launch up a three from way outside. McKinney missed it. Brunea with a rebound. Mitch's 4th rebound for Utah Valley. So UVU going to try to chip away at that 4-point lead of Sacramento State. Williams with it. High post feed. Zach Nelson drives in. Layup good.
Very nice play there from Zach. Got the ball. Did a nice ball fake. Made a nice quick move. Big had to come out and give shot pressure. He drove right past him for the layup.
4 straight points open the second half for Utah Valley. They now trail by only 2, 38-36. 17-15 to play. Sacramento State shaking and baking up top is Mike McKinney. Drives in, dishes off, jumper, no good. Rebound on the floor, picked up Sacramento State. Fake, now goes up, missed it. Rebound comes down. Chad Ross battling on the floor with it. Ball tied up, possession arrow goes Sacramento State direction. Well, that time inside, Nick Hornsby faked at least twice, maybe even 3 times before finally going up with it. No fouls called.
Yeah, and that's the underrated aspect of that play for me. No foul for the Wolverines despite multiple attempts right in the paint.
Sacramento State basketball, fresh 35. Studeville backing in against Zach Nelson. Turnaround jumper, no. He was sandwiched between Zach Nelson and Chad Ross, and it's going to be Chad Ross called for his 2nd personal foul. Just under 17 minutes to play. Utah Valley trailing by 2.
I'm not sure if the Wolverines had in mind to double team that because Studeville did a nice job of backing down Zach Nelson, and normally you would see if that offensive player gets that low, you're going to have help, whether from a guard or whether from a big. Sacramento State running a guard through, just no rotation from the Wolverines, and Chad came to give help, but just too late and got the foul.
Studeville makes the first, misses the second. Zach Nelson with a rebound for Utah Valley. Outlet pass Chad Ross, he slips down, turns the ball over. Sacramento State coming back the other way, 2-on-2. Floater in the lane, Mike McKinney good. 41-36. Sacramento State by 5. Well, that was just bad luck for Chad Ross slipping down on the sideline.
Yeah, I think Coach was a little upset that ball went to Chad Ross and not to a guard, bringing it up the floor.
Williams with it, goes over to Nelson. Works it over to Chad Ross, deep right corner, 18-second shot clock. 16.5 to play here. Utah Valley trailing, 41-36. Driving in, Marcel Davis dishes off. Zach Nelson, he charged. Zach Nelson picks up foul number 3. First player on either team with 3. Second team foul this second half.
Yeah, Sacramento State again showing a lot of life on the zone defense. Wolverines just, I think, pressing just a little bit too much, trying to do a little too much, make the simple play, the simple pass. That will do it against the zone.
Utah Valley starts the second half with 2 of 6 shooting. Marcel Davis goes for the steal, knocks it out of bounds. Meanwhile, Sacramento State opens 1 out of 5. Just under 16 minutes left to play here at the UCCU Center. Media timeout. We'll take it with them. Sacramento State leading Utah Valley by 5. You're watching the WAC Digital Network and listening to 960 The Zone.
Talk about life after college. Entering the real world. But this is engaged learning. I'm not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. I'm learning by doing. I'm at UVU. I'm in the real world every day.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity, on the court with respect,
and in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Utah Valley trailing Sacramento State right now by 5. It's 41-36. We're at the UCCU Center. UVU will remain home for at least one more game. Next Tuesday they'll be hosting Bristol before hitting the road, and a week from tonight, be in Fayetteville, Arkansas, taking on the Razorbacks of Arkansas. Those will be the last non-conference games before conference play starts the following week as Seattle comes in here to open the WAC play. Sacramento State basketball. Just under 16 minutes left, leading Utah Valley by 5. Mike McKinney got it, working between the circles. McKinney with 8 points. Throws it up as the shot clock was about to expire. The foul's going to get called inside against Dante Williams. For Dante, it's his first and the team's fourth. Or make it the team's third, rather, this half.
Shot clock running down there. Another note I made to myself is on ball defense, right? I mean, you've got Dylan Garrity, who's done a nice job hitting some shots, and you have to believe that Mike McKinney is going to be a little bit more aggressive here in the second half, and they're going to try and get him one-on-one opportunities at multiple spots and places on the floor.
Well, it's been 2 minutes since the Wolverines have scored a point here in the second half. McKinney made his first, makes his second as well, and pushes Sacramento State's lead out to 43-36, 7-point lead. Their biggest lead has been 6 before this point. So this their biggest lead of the game. Utah Valley basketball, 15.5 minutes to play. Marcel Davis gives over to Williams, gets it back. Slides to the right on the dribble, gives to Williams in the corner. Directing traffic, threw it away, right into the hands of McKinney, coming back the other way. He dishes off to the trailing Cody Demps, who goes up and in, but he charges when he does it, so take that 2 off the board.
Yeah, really nice job there from Marcel. Not only did he stop the initial drive from Mike McKinney, but he saw the dump pass, got himself into position and drew the charge. Nice defense there from Marcel.
Wolverines having a little trouble with this backcourt press. They get it across the timeline finally to Mitch Brunel. 15 minutes left at the UCCU Center. It's 43-36. Wolverines down by 7. Marcel Davis, top of the key, gives over to Brunel, left side. He'll bring it back to the top, give over to Davis. Kicks over right side, Jaden Jackson, who checked into the game for Dante Williams. Over to Marcel, baseline drive, kicks it outside. Blocking foul against Sacramento State, though, as Marcel had to sort of drive around Eric Studeville, and Studeville picks up his second. Brendan Evans checks in for Utah Valley. Chad Ross takes a seat. Alex Tiffin comes in. Meanwhile, Dylan Garrity, leading scorer for Sacramento State, takes a seat, as does Eric Studeville with those 2 fouls. Wolverine basketball, fresh 35 to work with. Kind of an important possession for homestanding boys in white, trailing by 7, driving in Marcel Davis, stripped of the ball, but he was fouled on his way to the hole. They're going to call this one against Cody Demps. For Demps, his second, team's 4th. So Sacramento State was whistled for 4 fouls in the entire first half. Here in the first 5.5 minutes, they've been whistled for 4 in the second half. Free throw good from Marcel.
Yeah, and that's big for UVU because, if you can be aggressive against the zone, I know Marcel looks to drive, but you've got to have more free throw attempts in a game like this. That's the tendency, or that's what the zone is designed for, is to make you passive and not be aggressive. Work that ball around the perimeter and take a shot when it's there. But if you can find the gaps, drive, try and draw some contact, that's what's going to aid the Wolverine offense, is getting to the line, getting some easy attempts at free throws.
Marcel got him, so it's 43-38. 5-point lead for Sacramento State. Their possession with 14:15 to play. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Demps with it, picks up the dribble. Tries to bounce it inside. Instead it hits Mitch Brunel's leg. So with 15 seconds on the shot clock, it'll still be Sacramento State's basketball. Demps will trigger baseline. Outside jumper, Zach Mills 3, missed it. Rebound, Brendan Evans of Utah Valley.
Yeah, and these opportunities off of a miss, if the Wolverines can get out, not let the zone be set,
Jackson
that's a big play too.
Drives in, dishes Brunel, 3-pointer, missed it. Rebound fought for. Sacramento State comes away with it. Bartlett brings it up court for the Hornets of Sacramento State. Sacramento State 5-5 on the season. Driving in, tip following the miss by Alex Tiffin is good. Back to a 7-point lead, 45-38 with 13.5 to play. Jaden Jackson gives over Zach Nelson, gets it back. Jackson now puts it in the hands of Mitch Brunel with 20 seconds on the shot clock. High post feed, Brendan Evans, outside jumper, Jaden Jackson in the corner, no. Weak side rebound, Sacramento State.
Yeah, Wolverines making a change to their defense, now dropping back in a 2-3 zone.
Mike McKinney had it. Started left and then went right. Marcel Davis couldn't quite stay with him, and Marcel Davis picks up his third personal foul. So now you got two starters for Utah Valley with 3 fouls each, Marcel Davis and Zach Nelson. 13 minutes, 10 seconds left. Sacramento State leading by 7, 45-38. Kind of a lackluster second half thus far for the Wolverines, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. They've struggled on offense. They've got great looks. They've had some open 3 attempts. They just have not been able to knock it down. Sacramento State hasn't done much on offense either.
Both teams just 2 of 8 shooting. 18-second shot clock for Sacramento State. Cody Dimps with it. Works between the circles. Still out there. Comes off a screen, slides to his left. Dishes off to Bartlett. He'll take the jumper. Good. Long 2.
Wolverines that time went to their 13 defense, where it's a 1-3 zone, and then you have a chaser, kind of like a box and one. That time Jaden Jackson chasing Dylan Garrity, but nice jump shot there from Dreon Bartlett.
9-2 run right now for Sacramento State. They lead it 47-38. 12 minutes, 18 seconds to play. Driving in, Marcel missed, point blank, rebound, Sacramento State. Wolverines just not getting anything to fall in this game. Shooting 38%. I told you in that first game at their place, UVU shot a paltry 40%. Right now they're below that. 16-second shot clock. Sacramento State basketball driving in. Demps, traffic, crashes to the floor. Foul called. This one's going to go against Brendan Evans. Timeout on the floor. Wolverines need a timeout. They need to regroup. 11:52 to play. Utah Valley trailing Sacramento State 47-38. We'll take a 60-second break. Coming back on 960 The Zone.
Good sportsmanship isn't defined by a scoreboard.
It isn't defined by how high you jump or how fast you can run.
Good sportsmanship is all about character.
It is about doing your best for your coaches and teammates.
It is about having respect for your opponents, the officials, and the fans.
Good sportsmanship is winning with class and losing with dignity.
It's fair play, perseverance, and team spirit.
Good sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.
Well, Utah Valley started the second half, looked pretty promising because they had trailed at halftime 38-32, and they came out and scored the first 4 points to trail by just 2 at 38-36. Since that point, which was 17.5 minutes left to play, which was about 5.5 minutes ago, Matt, Wolverines have managed 2 free throws. That's it. Meanwhile, they've been outscored 9-2.
Yeah, it's just been,
not pretty.
I've always talked about how defense can carry you, right? It can only carry you so far. I mean, the Wolverines have played pretty good defense, but when you put so much pressure on that end, you've got to have baskets on offense, and the well is dry right now for UVU. They're going to keep fighting. They need to keep fighting. It's just a matter of not trying to press. There's still plenty of time left in the game. Run your offensive sets. Don't turn the ball over, and you'll still get good looks. It's just you've got to knock down the shots when they're there.
Wolverines leave their 2 starters out there with 3 fouls each in the form of Zach Nelson and Marcel Davis. Free throw is good from Cody Demps for Sacramento State. It's 48-38 now. Sacramento State's biggest lead. It's a 10-2 run as well. Demps makes the second one, 49-38. 11-point lead, the biggest for Sacramento State. Utah Valley basketball. Mitch Brunel, deep left corner. No shot from the senior from Boise gives over to Davis. 11.5 minutes to play. 15-second shot clock. Zach cut off. Will cycle it around right side, Brunel. Marcel to the corner. Jaden Jackson for three. Missed it. Tipped up. Ball on the floor out front. Sacramento State grabbed it. Mike McKinney tracked that one down. McKinney's been all over the place. 6 assists, 10 points tonight for Mike McKinney, the senior from Union City, California. First team All Big Sky last year. 11 minutes left here at the UCCU Center between these two. Sacramento State works it in. Driving shot off the glass. Good. That one coming from Zach Mills.
Yeah. Get a timeout here from Coach Hunsaker, but that was a nice dish off because Dylan Garrity, you had so much attention going to him coming off the screen. There was almost a double team as too much help came from the big. And it left Zach Mills wide open as he was able to come to the basket. Brennan Evans rotated over, just not enough time, not enough help.
You know, this has been a game of runs, Matt. The first half, UVU, 7-0 run, 8-0 run, another 7-0 run, and you would think, wow, they must have been leading, but no. Sacramento State had a 9-0 run, a 7-0 run, and then finished the first half on a 9-0 run themselves to lead at halftime, 32-38. And now look, Sacramento State on another 8-0 run right now, and if you go back, it's a 13-2 run.
Yeah, it's amazing how those trends happen, and we've seen it a lot for the Wolverines. And you know, we're looking right here. You know, scoring drought, 4 minutes, I believe it is. They haven't scored a basket, and you know the zone defense, the pressure has slowed the Wolverines, and the zone when they fall back into it, they've been active. They've had their hands all over the place, not easy passes anywhere. You know, open shots the Wolverines have got, they just haven't been able to knock it down. So, you know, we're saying it's a game of runs. Let's hope that the Wolverines can turn a run in for themselves here and get back into the game.
13-point lead, Sacramento State's largest. Actually, that scoring drought's just back to free throws. The last time they made a basket was at 17.5 minutes to play. Coming up on 7 minutes ago since the Wolverines have scored a basket from the floor. Jaden Jackson with it for Utah Valley. He'll launch a three up front. Front rim no good. Sacramento State with yet another defensive rebound. Dylan Garrity pull that one down. He'll take it coast to coast, lay it up and in. My goodness, this is quite a display. 15-2 run. 15-point lead for Sacramento State on the road, where this year they're just 1-4 so far. Driving in, Corey Cardwell off the glass from left to right. Good.
A nice play there from Corey. You know, we've seen he's not afraid to shoot the long jump shot, but part of his game we haven't seen much. A nice drive baseline and a much needed basket.
7.5, almost 7.5 minutes without scoring from the field before that basket from Corey Cardwell. Sacramento State basketball, faking up against Darius Hamilton. Sacramento State can't get that one down. Wolverines come away with it. 9:45 to play. Hamilton with it. Top of the key, lost the handle, falls on the floor, gives it over to Corey Cardwell, launches a three. Missed that one. Sacramento State with it, coming back the other way. Dylan Garrity's got it. 9.5 minutes to play, 53-40. Utah Valley down by 13. Cody Demps backs out. Head coach Brian Katz calls the offense for Sacramento State. 18 seconds on their shot clock. Gives it over to McKinney. Now to the corner, jumper for three, good. They're just lighting it up from everywhere. Zach Mills buried that one.
Yeah, that's a tough action to defend because you had Mike McKinney coming around, having a ton of momentum, driving to the basket. Mitch Brunel had to give help. Left Zach Mills wide open in the corner. Sacramento State just playing with a lot more confidence right now.
Wolverines want to take a timeout. They've only hit one of their last 7 shots. This is starting to get ugly. Utah Valley down by 16 points with 9:09 to play in the ball game. A 16-point lead, Sacramento State's largest. Sacramento State on a 13-2 run. And if you go even further back, it's 28-4. Really? No, 8. Can't be that many. 18-4. Thank you.
You know, one thing we talked about in the pregame was the first matchup between these two teams. The Wolverines were 3 of 19 from three-point line. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. Maybe you remember. I don't know if exactly what defense they played. Maybe it was the same defense. But they maybe looked at that and said, okay, well, we're going to try and get them to shoot those long threes. In tonight's game, 5 of 21. They've taken a lot of three-point shots.
Wolverine basketball. Driving in, Hamilton. Shot off the glass, good, and one. Darius Hamilton scoring, the junior from San Antonio, Texas. Studeville picks up his third. Hamilton, a big kid. They list Darius at 6'8", and they list Studeville at 6'11". And to be honest with you, there's not a big difference between the two of them.
No, that was a nice finish there. A couple dribbles down the baseline, went through the contact, wasn't able to convert on the free throw, but a nice finish there.
56-42, free throw was missed. Sacramento State with the rebound, 8:45 to play.
And Sacramento State doing a lot of dribble handoffs on the perimeter here.
McKinney driving in, trying to dish off, finding Cody Kemps, and missed Kemps, and the ball went out of bounds. Turnover, Sacramento State. They're starting to get a little too fancy now. 12 turnovers, Sacramento State, 13 for UVU. 8.5 left. 56-42, 14-point deficit for Utah Valley. Corey Cardwell, spinning move to the hole, lays it up and in.
What a move there from Corey. I mean, maybe that can spark the team. A nice job of handling the press there by Alex Carr as he got trapped near the half-court line. And that's the aggressiveness. If a team's going to trap you, if you break that, you have numbers going to the rim.
Corey Cardwell, a walk-on from Riverton, Utah, career-high 4 points tonight. Like to see that from the young man. Meanwhile, Sacramento State comes down and Dylan Garrity nails the three.
Yeah, Corey got caught there because he tried to go over the top of the screen rather than chasing it. Dylan Garrity just spaced to the corner and knocked down a three, killed the Wolverine momentum.
15-point lead for Sacramento State with 7:45 to play. Cardwell has it, gives over to Zach Nelson, right corner. Brings it out of there to Carr, now to Cardwell. Corey drives in, crashes into Studeville. And a foul's going to get called against Eric Studeville. For Studeville, that's going to be foul number 4. Corey Cardwell, when we get back from this media timeout, will be at the free throw line. 7:37 to play. Sacramento State leading Utah Valley 59-44. Back in 60 here on the Wolverine Sports Network. Utah Valley's only made 3 of their last 9 shots. Meanwhile, Sacramento State has hit 6 out of 7. And that's just one of the reasons Sacramento State leading Utah Valley by 15 points. It's 59-44. UVU trailed at halftime by 6. Still got 7:37 to play, and UVU's really going to have to turn on the afterburners now to catch them.
Yeah, they're going to have to string together a couple of defensive possessions. It's going to be tough because what Sacramento State is going to look to do is, use the clock. The clock is their friend. They're going to get their guards in with the ball around the perimeter, doing a lot of dribble handoffs, being very patient, waiting for their opportunity. So what the Wolverines will have to do is get to the free throw line like Corey here knocks down the first. They can get points when the clock is stopped. That's better for them. And any opportunity that they get on a missed shot or on a turnover from Sacramento State, they've got to push the ball.
Walk-on Corey Cardwell at the free throw line already with 5 points. Makes the second one make it 6. Corey Cardwell with 6 points has outscored Brendan Evans and Zach Nelson combined. 2 starters are struggling tonight with 4 points between them. Sacramento State basketball, they lead at 59-46, 7:25 to play. Corey Cardwell getting tied up inside with Dylan Garrity. Garrity's had a heck of a game. I mean, we're talking about Utah Valley, but let's not overlook Dylan Garrity. 20 points tonight, Matt. This kid came in here averaging 11 points a game, senior from Huntington Beach.
He really hurt him in the first half with 15 points. And, you know, like I said earlier, I feel for Corey there because I know exactly what he's doing. You know, you've got Dylan Garrity, who's on fire from three, been an offensive force tonight, and you're assigned with chasing him coming, trying to stop him coming off screens. Corey's had a couple of fouls like that so far.
Jumper for three from who else but the guy we're talking about. Garrity drills it. 62-46. It's a 16-point lead. That's their biggest, or matches their biggest. Comes with just under 7 minutes to play. UVU not used to being this far down at home, where they're 2-1 this season at home. Their only loss to Utah State. That one was just by 3 points. Mitch Brunel, jumper, missed it for Utah Valley. UVU 5 of 16 shooting this second half. Driving all the way, taking it up and in, Cody Demps. Sacramento State's really feeling it, and Utah Valley looks like they just want to get out of here.
Yeah, they're struggling. I think it's tough for them. You know, they know they've dug themselves a deep hole here. Keep fighting. You know, you're going to be in games like this, and keep giving it your best effort here.
64-46 with 6 minutes left. Sacramento State up on top of UVU's Wolverines. Cardwell gives over to Alex Carr. 12 seconds on the shot clock. High post feed. Hamilton out to Cardwell. 8 seconds to shoot. Hamilton will take the jumper, top of the key, no good. And a foul inside on the attempted rebound. This one's going to go against Sacramento State.
You know, Jim, the offense that the Wolverines have been running is so perimeter oriented. You know, there's very few possessions like that one where the ball gets dumped into Darius Hamilton or Zach Nelson, whoever's the big at the high post. You know, Darius forced to shoot up the long jumper. Chad, nice job inside, getting position and getting pushed in the back on the offensive rebound attempt. But, you know, the zone for Sacramento State has been the story for me because it has really slowed down UVU. It's been such a perimeter-oriented game. They haven't got many shots inside.
Chad Ross at the free throw line. He's already got 8 points tonight. UVU has been to the stripe 6 times. Sacramento State 15 times. Front end of the 1-on-1 is good.
Yeah, and that's another result of the zone. You know, the tendency against when you play a zone is you don't foul as much. You know, a lot of times coaches will play that players in foul trouble. So, you know, it's done the job. Got the Wolverines on the perimeter and not put them at the free throw line.
Chad Ross makes them both. He's got 10 points. Only player for UVU in double figures now is Chad Ross, who, by the way, had a career-high 12 against Arizona. So he only needs 2 more to tie that. McKinney trying to find the seam down the lane. Instead, gets hammered by a couple of Wolverines. It'll be a 1-and-1 with 5 minutes, 35 seconds left. Not a lot to cheer about for the fans here at the UCCU Center tonight. It'll be Garrity at the free throw line. Dylan Garrity, senior from Huntington Beach, had 7 points against the Wolverines in the first game. Average of 11. Tonight, he's got 24. And a chance for 25 coming up after that first free throw goes down. 65-48, 17-point lead for Sacramento State. Makes them both 66-48, 18-point lead. Their biggest. Brendan Evans throws it away. Threw it right into the hands of Alex Tiffin. Brendan Evans not having his usual good game tonight.
Here comes this action. You've got Tiffin out setting a screen there.
Garrity feeling it. Puts up an NBA three and buries it from outside.
You know, that action is just nonstop. You know, if he gets the ball on the perimeter, there's a screen coming from a big, and the Wolverines have not been able to defend that tonight.
Garrity's got 28 points tonight. He's only missed 1 shot all night. Meanwhile, the Wolverines can't get anything to go down. They're 5 of 18 here in the second half. Sacramento State with the rebound on that miss. 69-48, a 21-point lead for Sac State with 4:35 to play. I just committed a sin for everybody in Sacramento State. Sorry.
Here comes that pick on the ball.
And Wolverines come up with a rare turnover. Alex Carr pushing it up court. Dishes over to Chad Ross. Works it inside, kicks it out. Eli Robinson puts it up, and, well, that's apropos for what's been going on tonight for Utah Valley. Ball just sticks between the rim and the backboard. 4:17 to play. And Sacramento State head coach Brian Katz, you might have heard him there, standing just about 10 feet to our right, screaming timeout, timeout. 4:17 left. We'll stay here with this one. 21-point lead for Sacramento State on top of UVU. You know, we've talked all season, Matt, that Utah Valley kind of likes low-scoring games, but I don't think they like it when they're losing by 21 points.
No, definitely not. You know, it's tough to see the struggles that the Wolverines have gone through here. You know, that 10-point lead or 9-point lead, whatever it was that they had in the first half, seems like a century ago because, you know, Sacramento State has just played a whole lot better, and there's no way to sugarcoat it. So I think when you have games like this, you know, it's tough. It is so difficult to play through them. You know, you've got to finish off strong, and then obviously you've got a lot left to play for. But you know, just the shooting woes that the Wolverines have had. You know, what are they? 37% from the field, 22% from three. Oh, they're 88% from the line. They've only gotten there 8 times, but you know, it's when you have a player on the other team who goes for 28, and their team, Sacramento State, 59% from the field, 64% from the three, 82% from the line. You know, those numbers mirror very closely to what the game was in Sacramento when they played earlier this year.
Career high for Dylan Garrity tonight. Previous high was 26 against Idaho State. It was last year on March 1st, or last season on March 1st. 28 points career high. Meanwhile, the first time these two played, Sacramento State's, who was it had the career high that night? That was Hornsby.
Yeah. Had
20 points that night. So Sacramento State loves to play UVU. Good news is UVU doesn't have to see them again this year. UVU has never lost to Sacramento State here in Orem. But they've got less than 4 minutes to pull off a miracle comeback, trailing by 21. UVU basketball, Eli for 3. Front rim, no good. Rebound, Sacramento State. Dylan Garrity still out there. McKinney out there. Demps out there. 3 out of 5 starters. Meanwhile, Utah Valley, 5 bench players now on the floor. Goodman, Carr, Ross, Cardwell, and Robinson. 3:22 to play. 10-second shot clock for Sacramento State. They're just milking the clock. Zach Mills dishes off to McKinney, launches a 3, and what else?
Yeah,
that's good.
That action has just been nonstop. You know, handoffs, plays where you dribble, you get another offensive player coming right behind you, and it's just Wolverines haven't been able to defend it. But you know what? I don't know if there would be many teams that would be able to defend it because Sacramento State has been on fire from all over the floor.
2.5 minutes since UVU scored a point. It's 72-48 with 2:48 to play. Chad Ross hanging jumper too hard. Tip up, no good from Goodman. And a foul on the rebound after that missed tip. Goes against Sacramento State's Alex Tiffin. For Tiffin, his second, team's 8th of this second half. It brings us to our last media timeout. 2:44 left. Sacramento State all over Utah Valley, 72-48. Back in 60 seconds on the Wolverine Sports Network.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity, on the court with respect,
and in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Good sportsmanship isn't defined by a scoreboard.
It isn't defined by how high you jump or how fast you can run.
Good sportsmanship is all about character.
It is about doing your best for your coaches and teammates.
It is about having respect for your opponents, the officials, and the fans.
Good sportsmanship is winning with class and losing with dignity.
It's fair play, perseverance, and team spirit.
Good sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
We're at the UCCU Center in Orem, Utah. I'm Jim McCullough along with Matt Peterson. Thanks for joining us tonight on the WAC Digital Network as well as on 960 of the Zone. Right now, Utah Valley down by 24 points to a just red-hot Sacramento State team, shooting 11 of 18 here in the second half, 60% for the game. Meanwhile, Utah Valley 35% for the game and just 22% in the second half. Wolverines have put up 22 shots and made 5 in the second half. Wolverines' last basket at the 8:26 mark. Sacramento State basketball following the missed free throw by Dayon Goodman. 72-48. Sacramento State with the basketball, 2:28 to play. UVU looks to the sidelines. Coach Hunsaker still coaching. All 5 subs into the game. Driving in to the lane, crashing into Wolverines is Cody Demps. And a foul gets called against Eli Robinson of Utah Valley. His second, team's 8th. Both teams been whistled for 8 here in the second half. So at the free throw line, Cody Demps, junior from Elk Grove, California. He's 6 of 6 from the stripe tonight. Make it 7 of 7. Got that one to go. It's another big run, 9-0 run right now for Sacramento State. Darius Hamilton, Alex Carr, Eli Robinson, Boston Gubler, and Corey Cardwell on the floor right now for Utah Valley. Second free throw also good from Demps. 10-0 run for Sacramento State. They lead it 74-48. Jumper outside, Alex Carr misses the 3. Tip-up attempt, no good from Hamilton. Boston Gubler got the rebound, dishes out to Eli. He puts up a 3, missed that one. Sacramento State tracks down the loose ball rebound. Under 2 minutes left here at the UCCU Center. Utah Valley down big time to Sacramento State, 74-48. Wolverines' biggest loss this season has been 31 to Arizona, but you know that was Arizona for crying out loud. Working inside, Alex Tiffin, shot no, ball on the floor. Sacramento State tracked down the rebound with 1:25 left. So Sacramento State trying to burn some clock. Now they call it quick timeout just for a substitution timeout. James Herrick checks in. Justin String checks in. And here comes UVU's starting 5 back onto the floor for the final minute 24. If they're going to have to watch this happen, they're going to watch it from the floor. Mitch Brunel, Zach Nelson, Brendan Evans, Marcel Davis, Dante Williams back on the floor for Utah Valley with 1:12 to play, and Utah Valley down 74-48. Jumper outside, Sacramento State missed it. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll belong to Utah Valley. Mason Studeville makes an appearance. He is Eric Studeville's younger brother. Mason, you can't call him a little brother. He's 6'11". They're both 6'11". One's a Eric's the sophomore, averaging 7 points a game. Mason's the freshman, averaging 1.3 a game. Under a minute to left in this one. Davis gives over to Williams, to Brunel. Back up top to Marcel Davis, lost the handle momentarily. Goes left side to Zach Nelson. Right side to Williams, he'll jump a 3. Front rim, no good. Sacramento State with a rebound. I'm not sure I want to talk to Coach Hunsaker on the radio in the postgame about this one.
Yeah,
if I pay you like all the money in my pocket, will you do it?
Depends on how much is in your pocket.
Actually, I don't have any idea.
That's going to be a tough conversation. I know Coach will talk about, well, I don't know what he'll talk about, but obviously he'll make points, kind of, echoing what we've talked about. It just wasn't the Wolverines' night as far as from their offensive perspective, and Sacramento State just made runs, and the Wolverines were never able. And why is Sacramento State shooting a free throw on the Wolverine end? What is going on?
The foul was actually called on James Herrick, and so he tried to fake everybody out by going to the free throw line to shoot the free throw for UVU.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he's the way UVU's been shooting tonight, heck, Herrick might as well.
I've never seen that before. That was very interesting. He almost got it off, too.
Brendan Evans will be at the free throw line instead. He does score with 29.3 seconds to play. Wolverines haven't scored a basket from the floor since the 8:26 mark. 74-49. He missed the second one. And appropriately, James Herrick with the rebound. No shot, you heard Coach Brian Katz from Sacramento State call, so that's how this one looks like it's going to end. The last 12 seconds being run off. 74-49 for the Wolverines of Utah Valley. One of their lowest scoring games so far this season. Not their lowest, but one of their lowest, but a really, really tough loss to take it home as they lose by 25 points. We're going to say goodnight to our WAC Digital Media viewers, and then we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back on the radio for our post-game show here from Orem, Utah, coming up in 2 minutes.
This copyrighted telecast of the Western Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the WAC Digital Network.